Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is King Ruthless and I'm bringing you Game 3 of the Best of 5 series between aXa and RagequitTMO. Let me get their names up here. And I apologize for my voice ahead of time. If it's a little bit off, it's because I'm a little bit sick. I think it's because I got a flu shot. And it must have been really potent. That must have been some really strong stuff, because now I am sick, sniffling, coughing, feeling like crap in general. But anyways, enough about me being sick. What is more important here is this is Game 3 of the Best of 5 match between aXa and RagequitTMO. Here is RagequitTMO. He is your pink Terran spawning in the bottom right position on Antiga Shipyard. And his opponents will be aXa, the very prolific author, known from TeamLiquid.net community for his threads, especially the thread on Zerg versus Terran and how he goes for more of a Ling ground-oriented style. Not so much Spire play, not so much roaches. It's really more about those upgraded Lings, not really any Banelings, and, you know, Infestors to fast Hive Tech. And it works really well against Terrans that like to go for these 1 or 2 base pushes with Marine Tank. But as we saw in Game 1, it doesn't work so well against double Banshee, what was that, Raven, and then more or less all in with your SCVs and Marines. So, I kind of messed up there. And then as well, you know, RagequitTMO just did a really nice timing push in Game 2. Really crippled Zerg was able to elevator drop onto that platform on Tal'Darim Altar and cause significant damage to aXa's economy so that he could never really recover from that. And so aXa does see here with his Overlord that his opponent has spawned in these locations. So he will immediately go back to running around the map and making more drones. He'll probably... He's gone ahead and expanded, getting his gas as well. Terran, meanwhile, is making, you know, throwing down another little supply depot. He doesn't want to have Zerg see exactly what he's doing. And Zerg's going to try and scout up here with his drone. Will not see much. So, by the way, guys, in case you missed out on what I just explained to you a couple seconds ago, aXa wrote this really impressive thread about how to be very aggressive with Zerg and to shut down these mid-game pushes, but he's down 0-2. So if he loses this match, it's do or die now. He's got to come back and win 3 matches in a row to win this series. And it all starts with 1 game, so we will see if this is you know, an 0-3, or if aXa can come back and win a game here. And I think this is going to be a little bit tricky for aXa to win on, because they're on Antiga shipyards and they spawn at the worst spawning locations. And you remember another game that I casted before where he went up against a Terran. I think he was spawning in this location. His opponent was in that location. And this is what I want to explain here. He spawned in unfavorable positions to Terran, who is going for a 1 Rax expand. Because Terran's main base is right here, and Zerg's natural third, and what I mean by natural third is Zerg starts out here, expands here, and then moves over to this base to grab their third. Well, true story, it's in range of siege tanks, so now that the Infestors got nerfed, it's a little bit harder to neuroparasite those tanks and help control that. This is more difficult in general. You have to rely on fungals. But really, I think on a map like this, especially in these positions, you need Mutalisks. I think Mutalisks would shut down the drop harass as well. They do help with that, and they as well, you know, help out with tanks. So we'll see what aXa decides to do. RagequitTMO, meanwhile, has a bunker set up towards the front, so these Zerglings, which, you know, still don't have speed yet, will not be able to get any scouting in, but he sees a bunker full of Marines. You can generally assume that it's going to be, you know, expansion here, but keep in mind that he does have Overlords on the way to check and make sure, just to see if these minerals are being mined or not. But he at least does have control of the watchtower with this one very lonely Zergling. And meanwhile, he has started on his creep spread as well. aXa has. And if I go silent with my mic, by the way, it's only because I'm going to cough, and I know you guys, I always hate it when I hear casters cough. And I'm coughing a lot, ladies and gentlemen. My voice is really hurting, but I want to keep up the excitement here, and I don't want you to think, oh, sick boy, whenever you know, hear this cast. So I'll do my best to not cough. And if I have to, I'll just put my mic on mute. So that will explain why I'm not doing what why my mic will sometimes just go silent. Anyways, we do have a lot of mules down here. He is on 2 orbitals, just pumping out tons and tons of SCVs. Meanwhile, throwing down 2 more barracks and getting a tech lab on that factory, so we could possibly see another 2-base push with Marine tank timing. He is getting a reactor on this barracks as well. I don't know if he's going to get a tech lab on any of these barracks, so it probably won't be a stem timing push. It'll probably be something more like a something like a 3 siege tank and then lots of Marines push. He's not grabbing a 3rd gas either, so we shouldn't expect starport. Okay, so tech lab is getting thrown down. Possibly combat shields. That's what RagequitTMO did last game, and it worked very well against aXa, who was grabbing a very fast 3rd. I like this. When you see that Terran goes for this 2-base play, you can safely grab a 3rd, actually. Unless they go for... Though there's not really much they can do. They would have to go for mass racks to punish that, but then that sets them behind. And look at this. Oh, it's so beautiful. Look at all this creep spread. It's everywhere. aXa is painting the map purple with these 2 queens. Doing a great job spreading creep there, starting on his 4th hatchery, excuse me. And now is on 3 baits with 4 hatch. This is where Zerg becomes very scary. Evolution Chamber getting thrown down as well. Has 11 drones, and just continuing to spread out that creep. It's just going everywhere. aXa is in full macro mode at this moment. And he does have these 2 these 2 links out here positioned very nicely to see whenever the push will come. And waiting for the 3rd tank, and that's about the time that Terran pushes out, but... yeah, I think he's going to wait for the 3 tank push. Maybe just clear this out a bit and then wait to join up when he has a 3rd tank. Or maybe he'll push out a little bit early here. This is kind of dangerous, but then again, against a build like aXa's, you don't want to go for the conventional because it doesn't end up working so well. Nice scan, they're going to be able to pick off a lot of creep tumors. But I mean, these Marines don't have combat shields yet. They do need to stay within range of these siege tanks and avoid getting basically pummeled by all these Zerglings. So Overlord is meanwhile floating over the base. We'll scout pretty much everything that's going on. Another starport is going down, and he's just sieged up here on the creep. But remember, he has sight, so he sees the tanks unsiege, and RagequitTMO unwisely unsieges on creep. This is why it's so dangerous for Terrans when they have this contain to unsiege any of their tanks for any reason. So now aXa is going to go counterattack, and what does RagequitTMO have as a base? He's got a couple of Marines, he's got a siege tank, which isn't doing much, and the supply depot's down, so these Zerglings are going to run straight in and get a great surround on the tank and the bunker and all these Marines, and this is disastrous for RagequitTMO. Not only did he lose his first push, but now his wall's been breached, and so tons of SCVs going down here, basically trying to buy time for his units, for his tank to siege up. And I mean, this is just really bad. Let's look at the income tab. It's only 30 now to 57. Look at the production tab. More drones are on the way. And now really this base is in trouble. Pretty much RagequitTMO is... oh, he's actually grabbing a 3rd here. I like this. That's smart. And if aXa catches onto this and continues the aggression, it could end up biting him in the ass. But I don't think aXa is going to take advantage of this potential. I mean, this is going to be a free base. You send a couple of Zerglings over here. You force it to lift off. And then you know that you can pretty much continue the aggression. Now we're talking about here. Uh-oh. I always hate it when you do that with drones. You have them actually going to 1 drone instead of to the mineral patches. But anyways, we're talking about here that the stream stopped working. This is about the time that live stream decided that it wanted to stop working and instead wanted to focus more on a black screen sort of deal. Now, this is kind of interesting. I'm not sure why aXa is getting his geysers up here. Let's get another one over here. I would think that the geysers here would be better to get, or they're in this base, because you know that this geysers more or less, if he has siege tanks and he scouts Scarport, you can expect this to get bombarded anyway. So it's, I don't know, I kind of disagree with that, but a drone is going out to make a 4th, I would assume. Yep, right there. Meanwhile, Terran is warping this into, sorry, not morphing, he's morphing this into a planetary fortress, so aXa had his window of opportunity to deny this 3rd. But we'll instead opt to go for a 4th and a 5th, it looks like. Yes, indeed, a 5th. What the problem here is that aXa, he doesn't really have any Spire tech. He doesn't have anything that's going to make it easy for him. He doesn't have creep spread all across the map. He just kind of stopped after that push, and he's continuing creep spread over in the direction of the Terran. This is not a bad idea, but there's not so much over here. I guess in this direction would be more important. If you had to pick and choose. But as we can see here, Medevac is loaded up with Marines, and we'll go to drop. These Marines should have STEM by now. I would assume they do. Yes, they do have STEM, and +1 is on the way for Terran infantry levels. Zerg melee and Carapace is going down as well as an infestation pit, so we can expect a pretty fast hive here or possibly Infestor play, but more than likely a Hive, since, you know, aXa knows he's ahead. He doesn't have to play as defensively. But oh no, look at this, just like what I said. Now look at this. There's nothing that Zerg can do here, because all Terran has to do is go pick up his Marines and drop them off here, and they'll be safe against, you know, with the cover of the tanks. So these Marines can just get healed up and do nothing but pester the Zerg all day, and there's nothing that Zerg can do about it. It's probably one of the most frustrating things a Zerg player can go up against. Now watch this, he's going to get a nice round, and then they're going to get all loaded up again, and lots of Zerglings going down. So yeah, that's really irritating to deal with the Zerg. It's just one of those things, you know, man, that it just comes with the map. This is how the map works. So Spire is going down. I love this. I don't know where that Spire is going down at. Right there by the Evo chambers. And we're going to see a push right here to shut down this base. This base probably will go down. I don't think the Lings are going to be able to get there in time. And so we're pretty much having to split his units. He's not going to like this. And so aXa is trying to get a nice little sandwich here. Try to sandwich in the Marines. But again, since there's no mutas here, RagequitTMO can just do this all day, and it's impossible to deal with a Zerg unless you have Infestors, or unless you have Mutalisks, or unless, you know, Terran forgets to micro for a second. So, I mean, this drop will get more or less cleanup, as will this drop. There's only 2 Marines left. They might as well go and pick off drones or something. Another drop coming in as well. And at the very least, he does have Hive on the way, as well as 2-2 and Burrow, and it looks like he's going to have Ventral Sacks. I like this, so we might be seeing some drops here momentarily. I think that would be pretty cool. 6 Mutalisks are on the way. This drop ship is probably headed to take out this base as well. So we'll see what he does with that. Oh, the drop ship gets scouted by a drone. Does aXa react in time? No, not sure what he does. This medevac is hanging out. I'm not sure where the Mutalisks are, but at least aXa does have a couple of Zerglings here to, you know, safeguard against that. And another push coming out. 4 siege tanks and a couple of Marines. And aXa is, yeah, we're having lag problems here. But, uh-oh, the Mutalisks do not need to engage these Marines. Oh, so many Mutalisks dying right there to Marines. You have to be very careful. And I don't know where the medevacs are. They need to come back and heal these Marines. But meanwhile, we have a push coming into the 4th base. And I think there's plenty here to really take it out. As long as he focus fires this medevac, he should be fine. Meanwhile, Terran's just kind of pursed out here outside of the creep. Could really scan and start picking away at these creep tumors. Not sure what else he's focusing on. Oh, he's doing another drop here. Don't send medevac. Don't set mutas into that. Oh no! So both mutas go down, and he might just consider forfeiting this base. There's not much he's gonna be able to do to handle this. But the Zerg swarm is coming in for a nice round. I think this is plenty of Zerglings. His +2 carapace, I believe, has finished. And so these tanks don't have +1 yet, so these Zerglings are going to be very effective against tanks and these Marines. So this push gets shut down, but meanwhile, the Marines have come into the 3rd, and they are going to be able to take it down. Easy peasy. 1 Marine gets left behind, poor Marine, and these Zerglings coming just in time to see the hatchery fall. And meanwhile, we still have that dropship sinking out in the middle of the map. Let's see how many Mutalisks we have on the map. We have 1 Mutalist, so the Mutalisks weren't controlled very well, and they all just kind of died. So let's see what aXa decides to do here. He sees another drop coming, and he will have his Zerglings in position here. So the drop will be denied. There's no Mutalisks. Okay, 4 more Mutalisks on the way. That's about time that it happened. And now aXa is going to load up these Overlords with Zerglings. And Zergling drops, I don't know if you guys have ever tried this out. Actually really strong against Terran. And meanwhile, I guess the dropship's going to go on a long route to wherever it's going. Probably going back to go drop on this base. Yeah, exactly. But look at this. Zergling drops are so effective. There's no siege tanks here, are there? No, so the Zerglings are just going to run in and be able to take out so much infrastructure while RagequitTMO went to push out, and he can't really turn around at this time. You either turn around and you defend your base, or you push out and you try to kill Zerg. But I think aXa is going to hit this timing where he's going to have Ultralisk come out and lots of Zerglings. So, more Zerglings streaming down. He's got tons of Zerglings and Ultralisks, and these tanks are unsieged again. So, big blunder there by RagequitTMO. Will lose everything. Meanwhile, Zerglings are killing everything in his base, losing so much infrastructure. He does manage to lift off his command center, but not lifting off these buildings is a big blunder by him. And meanwhile, all these dropships are going to get picked off by these Mutalisks. will do a desperation move and to start dropping some Marines here and see how much damage he can actually do. Missing the transfuse there with the Queen. And, man, this... looks like another drop coming for aXa's, what is this, 4th? I guess it's technically 4th, but it's turning back around. Okay, it's going up there to load. Meanwhile, this dropship has been shut down, and, oh goodness, an ultra drop. I like this. So Marines are coming back in to try and salvage this base. SCV coming to repair the injured orbital. And really, at this point in time, RagequitTMO is only on 2 bases. He's having to rebuild all his infrastructure. He's not going to have any army. Look how high his minerals are. He just can't make an army. So, at any rate, the Zerglings finally do get cleaned up, but I mean, aXa has Mutalisk and Ultralisk and Cracklings. +3 is on the way, as well as +3 Carapace. Terran has just now started his vehicle weapons level 1, and I think 2-2 is just now finishing for the Marines. No, they're only at 1-1, and so, yeah, they're not going to be at 2-2. They're only going to be at 2-1, so that's really unfortunate. This medevac's going to go down as well, so poor medevac. And, oh my god, I just missed a drop here. Got it down to about 16 hit points. I cannot believe that. That was so close. The Mutalisks are going to come and see if they can find the medevac. Meanwhile, Zerg is just camped out here and grabbing the gold. I like this because he has position. He has such strong units, and RageQuit just doesn't have anything. And this might be a blunder to commit here, but, I mean, yeah, okay, so aXa will back off with his Ultralisk. That's not an engagement you really want to have. Instead, just going around towards the other end. This will work as well. Just make sure you get your Lings out front. I'm not really sure what what Zerg is doing here. I'm not sure what aXa is doing here. I guess posturing around while tons of drones coming and a nice conga line to go saturate this base. And the gold's going to be up very momentarily, so once Zerg does get that gold, I mean, Terran's going to be hard-pressed to do anything. There's already creep where he's trying to build bunkers, and I don't know what aXa's really waiting on here. I guess maybe more supply? Yeah, I don't really know, to be quite honest. So, Overlords and Zerglings and whatnot hanging around. Another 2 medevac drop will get scouted again by that nicely placed Overlord. aXa needs to be careful here not to bring back all of his units, because if Terran decides to push out at that point in time, he'll be in a lot of trouble. But I mean, look at this. Look at all those larvae. And that's just because aXa's had infinite time, really, to sit down and macro. So these medevacs will go down. RageQuit will not take advantage of this and try to push up, kill creep tumors or anything. And so Zerg's just going to be really, really freaking strong. Lots of Zerglings coming down here. I think aXa is about ready to push. Yeah, so RagequitTMO is taking all of his units here. He's going to do a desperation move. He has to win this engagement, but the Zerglings get a nice surround here. The Marines are not going to be able to go anywhere, and there's so much death going on here. There's no medevacs left. So that will be the GG from RagequitTMO. aXa wins the game, so its series is now 2-1. RagequitTMO is up by 1 game. And let's go ahead and go on to game number 4.